All right, let's discuss part 2, chapter 2 of Gulliver's Travels in Brobdingnag. So he's been taken in by this farmer's home, a miserly guy who he kind of slightly pisses off by laughing at his glasses, because when he kind of bends down to look at him with his glasses on, it's like two gigantic um, moons staring through windows. Recommends to the farmer, hey, you should make some money off of this. Show him, take him to the marketplace and show him off, which is what happens. And this leads to him getting taken on a big tour all through the countryside, all the way to the grand metropolis, the wonder. Is it the wonder of the universe, or whatever the heck it's called? The we'll 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 leave that. Is just the wonder of the universe, which is what anyone would call their most the most giant metropolis. But it was like reading it. It was like, oh, so it's very much like, oh, you're a freak and you're being carted around, and he makes an allusion like, oh, this is must be how the king feels, the Hanoverian German king, who is a foreigner in England. George the First must feel like you're invited to maybe think that he's a freak too, that's getting taken around and shown off, bit of a tool, which pretty seditious little thought there. But it also and in the notes, it definitely refers to the fact that like all these different showings are allusions to a people with like odd genetic makeups, but b more importantly, probably natives taken from the New World, being brought back here and exhibited until they died of smallpox or one of the other diseases that their immune system was not capable of. He has a relationship with the farmer's daughter, who is like 9 or 10 years old, who is basically kind of his nurse, as he says, Glumdalglitch, Glumdalglitch. She takes care of him. Definitely shows sympathy for him. Uh, Lines his little box with all the as soft of babies things that he can find, even though that's even is fairly rough. It's interesting. There's always this kind of emphasis on how smooth and soft something looks like, from when you're big, to how coarse and rough and uncomfortable it is when you're small, which has got a couple of different meanings. It's interesting, just like kind of the power differential. Like, I guess he was kind of a prisoner and a servant when he was the Lilliputians, but now he really feels his vulnerability, his powerlessness, and he's being treated much more like an object, something that a possession that the farmer is going to make money off of. Um, and I know that from different sources that Swift was really not into, was really against slavery, the slave trade, and you definitely can get that kind of sense of, oh, here I am, a powerless creature in this environment. How are they treating me? They're treating me like a freak. I'm being economically exploited. Um, you know, he's learning the language. There's also that kind of wonders, like, oh wow, he's an intelligent little fellow. You can see that as more, literally looking down on some other race of people, class of people, and yeah. So kind of a lovely literalization of that, and sort of slipping in all these things of how our society treats others. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is chapter 2 of part 2, the voyage to Brob Brobdingnag. God, I don't know how many times I'll have to say it before I get it. Brobdingnag. Then there's all the other names that Swift makes up that you're just going to have to suffer me mispronouncing them, or sounding them out as I'm reading it. But yeah, this is for myself, so I don't care. All right, more videos later.